Now let's talk about forms of inductive reasoning. In inductive reasoning, what is claimed in the conclusion goes beyond the evidence found in the premises, and the acceptance of the conclusion depends on the strength of the premises. In determining the strength of the premises, ask these questions. Are the premises true or acceptable? Are they relevant? Are they compelling? If the answers to these questions are in the affirmative, then your premises are strong enough to arrive at a conclusion. One of the forms of inductive reasoning is generalization. This uses evidence about a limited number of people or things of a certain type to make a general claim about a larger group of people or things of that type. Here's an example of a generalization. Hearsays are not admissible in courts. However, a hearsay, which is a declaration against interest, is admissible in courts. Generalizations typically tell us what is the general rule. However, there is still room for exceptions. Be careful of making a fallacy of hasty generalization. This is when the evidence is inadequate or not enough support is given to base the general conclusion on. Here's an example of hasty generalization. You may pause this video and observe the pattern. In this example, the basis for claiming that majority of the Filipino Muslims support the proposal is not adequate to support the claim, since it only pertains to MILF and their families, which do not represent the whole Filipino Muslim population. Another form of inductive reasoning is analogy, which is a comparison of things based on similarities that those things share. This is often used in poems or songs or in our everyday reasoning, just like in these examples. There is no mathematical certainty in analogical arguments. However, the claims of these arguments may still be acceptable. Here are the criteria of analogical arguments. First, relevance of similarities. Are the similarities relevant to the conclusion? Second, relevance of dissimilarities. Are the dissimilarities relevant enough to undermine the analogy? Here's an example of a case wherein the Supreme Court used an analogical argument. You may pause this video and take note of the keywords. And the last form of inductive reasoning that we will discuss is reasoning from general principles. This involves applying general principles to a specific case, and the strength of an argument depends on how acceptable the principle is and the degree to which the specific case fits into the category covered by the principle. Here's an example of reasoning from general principles. You may pause this video and study the pattern. Just be careful of making a fallacy of accident, which is applying a general rule to a particular exceptional case. Here's an example of a fallacy of accident. You may pause this video and observe that the general rule of freedom of speech must not apply to the particular exceptional case where the speech incited a riot. So that's it for the forms of inductive reasoning. Thank you for listening.